Welcome back to Miss Eddie's Math Movies, where it's cute to be a square. Today's lesson is 10.4, Tangent Ratio. By the end of the lesson, you'll be able to find the tangent of an acute angle and use it to solve right triangles. The tangent ratio is one example of a trigonometric ratio. This is the study of trigonometry, or we can abbreviate it trig. And you may take a class that's called trig one day, and this is just kind of an introduction. So a trig ratio is a ratio of the lengths of the sides of a right triangle. So we're just making a ratio, and you've been doing this all along. And we've been using these right triangles. You have this one, and you have this one. And whenever we make a ratio, like 1 to 2, that is a trig ratio. Or 2 to root 3, that's also a trig ratio. 1 to 1, 1 to root 2. These are all trig ratios. So a tangent is a specific trig ratio. This is a trig ratio that equals the opposite leg over the adjacent leg. And we abbreviate tangent as tan. We don't really ever say tan, but it's the tangent. That's how it's abbreviated. And if you look on your calculator has a button right here that says tan. So we're going to be using that in a little bit. So now maybe you're asking opposite of what? So let's say we're looking here. We've got two legs and a hypotenuse. How do I know which one's opposite? Well, it depends on your reference angle. And we're always going to use the acute angles. And I'll explain that more in a moment. So notice here, it says tangent A. That means we're standing here at A. So we're going to draw ourselves. There we are, we're standing at A. And the tangent is just a ratio, like 1 to 1, 1 to 7. 8 to 10. And that ratio is opposite leg over adjacent leg. Well, if we're standing at A, this is where we're standing, the opposite leg, the opposite side, right? Think of a leg as a side. And the adjacent, remember adjacent means next to. So opposite of us is little a. And adjacent to us, it has to be a leg, it can't be the hypotenuse. Next to us is little b. So that is the tangent of angle A. You might be wondering, why are we using this? We're using this because we're not always going to have these triangles. Some triangles have 62 degrees in this corner, and then this won't work. So we'll continue finding the tangent ratio, and I'll show you how we can apply it. So the tangent of S. So we're standing at S. Tangent means opposite over adjacent. So opposite of where we're standing is 4 root 3. And adjacent next to us, but not the hypotenuse, is 4. Oh, these 4's cancel. So the tangent of S is square root 3. And we can put that as a decimal if we want. I prefer to leave it just like that. But if you want to do a decimal, you put it in your calculator. Mine seems to be a little hard to read right now. And it's 1.732. How many? Did it say how many decimals? Oh, 4 decimal places. 1.7321. All right. Now we're going to do tangent of r. So now we're standing at r. So I'm going to erase this. Notice here, this always tells us where we're standing. Now we're standing at r, and we want the tangent ratio. So opposite of where we're standing, opposite over adjacent, not the hypotenuse. Once again, our 4's cancel, but notice our square root 3 is on the bottom. That means this is 1 over square root 3. I would leave it just like that, but you can put it in your calculator if you want, because the direction said 1 divided by square root 3, 0.5774. But I'd like to leave mine like this. What is the relationship between tangent of s and tangent of r? Let's go look at those. Tangent of s was root 3. Tangent of r was 1 over root 3. If you remember from Algebra 1, when you take a number and it flips upside down, it's called a reciprocal. They are reciprocals. Now, approximate tangent 74 to 4 decimal places. So we don't have a triangle for this. Look, I don't have 74 degrees in here. I don't have 74 degrees in here. And it'd be really annoying if I had to give you a ton of triangles. One was 74 degrees, one was 75 degrees. So our calculator has these triangles built in. And one way to find those triangles is to use tangent. So the first thing you need to do, if you want to find out what the tangent of 74 is, so you're standing at 74 and you want opposite over adjacent, your calculator has that built in. But the first thing you need to do is press, I'm going to try to get this so there's no glare, press mode, and make sure your calculator is in degree. This is not going to work if your calculator is not in degree. So you go down and press enter on degree, and then press second, quit. Now to find the tangent of 74, all you have to do is put it in your calculator. Your calculator knows the ratio already. Tangent 74. Enter. So all I did was I pressed tangent 74, enter. This is the ratio if you're standing at 74. All right, so I want to write this whole thing. 3.487414444. Rounded to 4 decimal places, that's a lot of 4s. 4874. So we don't have to get a bunch of these triangles because our calculator already knows the pattern. It already knows the ratio. Let me give you another example. Let's say we're standing at 45. What's the tangent of 45? Well, tangent is opposite over adjacent. 1 over 1, which is 1. So our calculator already knows that. Type in tangent 45. It's 1. Your calculator has this triangle in it already. It already knows what the ratios are. You just have to tell it which ratio you want. Find tangent of s and tangent of r as fractions in simplified form. Let's not do in decimals. So cross that part out. So you need to find the tangent of s and the tangent of r. Just the ratio in the simplified form. That's a fraction. Tangent of s, tangent of r. Make sure you simplify those fractions. Please do this now. Simplify your fractions. This is like example 1, and this is like example 1. Down here, use your calculator, so you just put this in your calculator, round to 4 decimal places. Do this now. 4 decimal places. This is like example 2. use the tangent ratio to find the value of x. So this is how it's going to help us find triangles, find lengths in triangles. So notice I can't use this. I can't write a ratio because this is not 22. This doesn't work either because it's not 45. So I have to use my calculator. My calculator knows what the ratio is using 22. So we always go from an angle. So you always are in this angle or this angle. So since they gave me 22, I'm going to put myself here. And look, they gave me the opposite and I need the adjacent. So this is how we set these problems up. We always do tangent, and then we put an angle in here, whatever angle we're standing at, and then we put this over 1, and we do opposite over adjacent. So let's see here. Because our calculator has this ratio in it, we don't have to have a triangle because we have a calculator. So we're standing here, so tangent, the angle is 22 over 1. The opposite of where we're standing, that side is 3, and the adjacent is x. So now all we have to do is solve this, right? Cross multiply. 3 times 1 is 3. Then we have to divide by tangent 22. So that's what's left over. So in your calculator, oops, let me get my other one. 3 divided by tangent 22. There you can see it. 7.4, and it says round to the nearest tenth. X is 7.4. In the next example, we have to use two different ratios to find the value of x. So we can use this acute angle or this acute angle, but we cannot use 90. Please write that down. Cannot use 90. So I can use 35, or, see, I know how many degrees in a triangle. 180 minus 90 minus 35, or I could use 55. So I'm going to show you how those both work. So let's say I'm standing here at 35. I would do tangent 35 equals opposite of 35 is 4, and adjacent is x. So I'm going to do 4 divided by tangent 35. 4 divided by tangent 35. 5.7. X is approximately 5.7. Or the other way, so this is one way I could do it. The second way is I could stand at 55. So imagine we're over here, and I'm going to do the tangent of 55. So tangent of 55 equals the opposite. Now the opposite is x over the adjacent, which is 4. Oh, now I just multiply. 4 times the tangent of 55. I don't have to divide. Let's divide by 1. Oh, same answer. 5.7. So you can use either method. Either one is fine. In this example, they gave me 59, so I'm just going to stand here. So I write tangent 59 over 1. Opposite is h. Adjacent is 45. Cross multiply. I don't have to do any division here. 45 times the tangent of 59. The tree is 74. To the nearest foot would be 75 feet tall. All right, I want you to do these now. So you're doing these now. I just want you to write an equation or proportion. Then I want you to solve. Think of it a lot like example 3. If you want to write 2 equations, you can. This is M Cubed signing out.